You won't believe what Samuel L. Jackson just revealed about Steve Harvey and Katt Williams, and trust me, it's shaken up the comedy world. If you thought the tension between these two comedy legends started recently, you are in for a major surprise. Samuel L. Jackson, the Hollywood icon, recently spoke during a live Q&A, and what he said about Steve Harvey and Katt Williams has fans absolutely shocked. Now, we all know Steve Harvey and Katt Williams have had their moments, but according to Jackson, the story goes way deeper than most people think. He claims that the nervousness Steve shows around Katt isn't just random or casual. It's rooted in years of rivalry and history, and once you hear the details, it makes total sense. It all dates back to the 2017 Def Comedy Jam reunion, a night that brought together some of the biggest names in comedy, including Dave Chappelle, Cedric the Entertainer, and of course, Katt Williams. That night, while everyone was laughing and enjoying the show, something very subtle happened backstage that most people never noticed. Dave Chappelle took a moment to shine a light on Katt Williams, showing genuine appreciation for his talent, and the crowd erupted. Comedians and fans alike were cracking up, and Katt was grinning ear to ear. But if you watched closely, Steve Harvey didn't look happy. Samuel L. Jackson pointed out that Steve looked tight, uncomfortable, almost jealous as all eyes turned toward Katt. And it wasn't just a passing moment. Steve's comment, "I'm nervous as hell right now," wasn't casual. It was a clear indication that Katt's presence and talent made him uneasy.
Rules to abide by. But you have to remember, even though you're on a podcast, you still got a brand.
Yeah.
And so you can't say what you want to say and expect to be relevant and not get canceled. You can't have a podcast, let somebody come on your show and talk about your friends.
I agree.
Okay, you got a podcast. Y'all got a guest on here. And he starts slamming Fred. He knows something about Fred, happened in the past, will lie or not, and just starts slamming Fred. Y'all got to shut that down.
Yeah.
Because this your brother. You got to protect him. And you got to protect the brand. They don't do that no more. So you come on my show, you spread all these lies about some people that I call my so-called friends, and I just let you sit there and check it. And because your podcast had so many views on that right there, your next guest is the same type of guest. Because now you want your money to be made off clicks and views at somebody's expense. Well, now guess what? You got to pay for that. Because once you put it out in the universe that I want clicks and views, the universe does not differentiate. It just give you clicks and views. So now, here they come the rest of them. And now you got clicks and views.
My question to that, though, is there was the podcast, and there was a comedian who talked about you. And you waited a while before ever responding to Katt Williams.
Well, see, first of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there. But they can, like, really kiss most of the corners of my ass when you say stuff like that. First of all, man, let me say this. If I had a chance to talk to Katt about anything, I would just ask him what's wrong. Just what's wrong. Let's go to that. Listen to me, man. Just because a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's true. That just don't mean it's true, man. And I probably shouldn't have said anything. That's a regret I have. I really shouldn't have said nothing. Because we not in the same league, dog. We shooting at two different baskets. I shouldn't even have said nothing. And so really, man, I think I would apologize to him if he took offense to what I said. I was joking, but I would apologize to him. And like I said, if I had a chance to sit down with him, I would just say, hey, man, what's wrong? But you got to look at the whole tone of the interview. If the whole tone of the interview is what everybody else ain't, what everybody else ain't got, what everybody else doing, I think that's kind of like hate and jealousy. And hate and jealousy is a form of grief. You're grieving because obviously All them people you talking about have something you either want or are something that you ain't. And you're grieving. And the funeral becomes the podcast. So now let me roast all of these people.
Oh, cut it out, Steve. Cut Steve Harvey up there crying, and you can tell he's still in his feelings about that Katt Williams interview. That shit did some big numbers, man, because he can't let it go with his Mr. Potato Head looking ass. He's trying to garner some sympathy. Man, don't nobody want to hear that, because first of all, if he was just up there roasting people, the man is a comedian. That's his job, shit, to get up on that stage and make the...
Now, this isn't the first time tension between Steve Harvey and Katt Williams made headlines, but it's definitely one of the most revealing. Fans have been dissecting every word of Katt Williams' interviews and Steve Harvey's past actions, and when Jackson added his insight, it made the pieces fall into place. According to Samuel L. Jackson, Steve's nervous energy wasn't just about that night. It was a reflection of deeper, long-standing issues. This rivalry, fueled by old grudges and professional competition, has been simmering for years. And while most people focus on the viral moments from Club Shay Shay, Jackson reminds us that the history goes way back. Cedric the Entertainer was also caught up in this moment, though in a quieter, more subtle way. While Dave Chappelle praised Katt Williams, Cedric's nervous chuckle wasn't missed by industry insiders. Samuel L. Jackson noted that Cedric seemed uncomfortable, maybe even guilty, and it wasn't hard to see why. Katt Williams had called out what he viewed as a pattern of behavior from some of these comedy legends, claiming that Steve Harvey, Cedric, and even Ricky Smiley were part of a small circle that subtly tried to control the spotlight. They allegedly wanted to maintain their status while keeping others from fully rising, and seeing Katt get recognition in that moment clearly stirred up some old tension. Now, Katt Williams has never been shy about standing his ground. Back in 2008, during the Championship of Comedy, he made it clear that he wasn't going to let Steve Harvey overshadow him. He roasted Steve on stage, calling out his high-top fade as fake and pointing out flaws in a way that left the audience stunned. According to insiders, that moment was pivotal. It left a mark on Steve Harvey's confidence and arguably contributed to the anxiety he shows around Katt today. Samuel L. Jackson reportedly said that Steve's jittery behavior whenever Katt is mentioned or appears is a direct reflection of that history. It's not just nerves, it's old wounds resurfacing in front of an audience, a reminder of a rivalry that hasn't fully healed. And it's not just Steve. Ricky Smiley also appears in this tangled web of comedy politics. Katt Williams has alleged that Ricky lied about originally being cast in roles that Katt was supposed to play, including Money Mike in Friday After Next. Katt claims that this, combined with past incidents, shows a pattern of intimidation or attempts to control the comedy scene. Samuel L. Jackson's comments suggest that this kind of tension and history is why some of these comedy legends act uneasy whenever Katt Williams enters the conversation. Katt isn't just another comedian. He's someone who challenges the established order and refuses to play by Hollywood's unspoken rules.
And it gets wilder. Katt Williams also shared stories about other comedians like Bernie Mac, showing a recurring theme of how certain figures tried to maintain control while discouraging fresh talent. According to insiders and Samuel L. Jackson, this pattern isn't new. It's part of Hollywood's way of maintaining status and dominance. The difference with Katt Williams is that he refuses to play by those rules. He calls out injustice, fights for recognition, and doesn't shy away from confrontation. And because of that, even legends like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Ricky Smiley show signs of nervousness, guilt, or defensiveness whenever Katt is involved. Now, imagine being in a room where everyone knows the stakes. Dave Chappelle, Samuel L. Jackson, Katt Williams, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer, all in one place. When Katt is celebrated, the energy shifts. Samuel L. Jackson pointed out that Steve's comment, "I'm nervous as hell right now," was no accident. It was the culmination of years of rivalry, unresolved grudges, and professional tension. And that's why, even years later, the energy between these comedians remains intense. Katt Williams has a way of commanding the room, making others confront old insecurities, and Samuel L. Jackson's insight confirms that this isn't just perception, it's history. Here's why you need to stick around till the end of this video. We're going to go even deeper into the Hollywood politics that Katt Williams exposed. We'll talk about joke theft, industry favoritism, and how these behind-the-scenes dynamics affect careers. Samuel L. Jackson's revelations are just the tip of the iceberg, and if you think this story ends with the 2017 Def Comedy Jam, you're missing the bigger picture. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Katt Williams isn't just a comedian, you'll see why he's considered one of the most fearless and influential voices in comedy today. Now let's dive deeper into Rickey Smiley and the infamous dress story. Katt Williams claimed that Rickey's behavior on set was a mix of arrogance and fear. According to Katt, Rickey acted like he already owned Hollywood, while Katt was just trying to make a name for himself. This tension came to a head when Katt allegedly added a clause in his contract saying he wouldn't work with Rickey unless Rickey wore a dress. The result? Rickey played Bernice Jenkins in First Sunday, and fans still debate whether this was Katt asserting power or Rickey just rolling with the comedy. Samuel L. Jackson hinted that moments like this reveal the hidden power dynamics in Hollywood. It's not just about comedy, it's about control, influence, and reputation. Katt Williams has always been unafraid to challenge anyone, even legends, and that's why people like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Rickey Smiley reportedly feel nervous around him. Speaking of Steve Harvey, the story goes even deeper. Katt Williams has publicly claimed that Steve's nervousness isn't new. It dates back to the 2008 Championship of Comedy when Katt publicly roasted him over his high-top fade. That moment embarrassed Steve on stage and challenged his authority in comedy. Samuel L. Jackson reportedly said that this kind of humiliation sticks. It's not about money or fame, it's about respect, and Steve's jitteriness around Katt makes perfect sense in that context. Even Cedric the Entertainer, who seemed calm to the audience, reportedly felt uneasy. Katt's boldness shines a light on Hollywood's subtle hierarchies, and the elite can't hide their insecurities when someone like Katt refuses to play by their rules. And the Mark Curry situation adds another layer to this drama. Katt Williams alleged that Steve Harvey lifted one of Mark Curry's comedy bits, and this isn't just small-time gossip. Mark Curry himself confirmed that Steve performed one of his original routines on Little Big Shots. Curry said it wasn't about money, it was about respect and recognition. Katt Williams, observing this pattern over the years, didn't hold back. Samuel L. Jackson pointed out that situations like this explain why some comedians feel uneasy around Katt. He speaks the truth, challenges the status quo, and doesn't let anyone dominate the spotlight without accountability. Now let's put all of this together. Samuel L. Jackson's comments highlight a bigger theme. Hollywood has long had a circle of comedians who maintain power and control, sometimes at the expense of others. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Rickey Smiley allegedly fit into this group, but Katt Williams disrupts it. He calls out injustice, exposes joke theft, and isn't afraid to confront peers, which makes him both respected and feared. And while fans debate whether all of Katt's claims are fully accurate, there's no denying that his influence and courage have shaped the comedy landscape. Samuel L. Jackson's insight validates what many insiders have known for years. Katt Williams is not just funny, he's fearless. It doesn't end there. Katt also shared how other comedians, including Bernie Mac, faced struggles against this same system. Bernie's talent was often overshadowed while the established elite tried to control the spotlight. Samuel L. Jackson explained that Katt Williams calls out this injustice, and that's why even decades later, tension remains whenever Katt enters a room. He's loud, bold, and unapologetic, forcing Hollywood to confront its own hierarchy. This isn't just entertainment, it's power, pride, and influence all wrapped into one. And fans, here's why it's so important to understand these stories. Comedy isn't just about making people laugh. It's about respect, recognition, and influence. Katt Williams has spent decades navigating an industry where ego and status often matter more than talent. Samuel L. Jackson's revelations shine a light on what goes on behind the scenes, where one joke can make or break a career, and where standing your ground can change the way people perceive you forever. Katt's ability to speak his truth, call out injustice, and challenge legends like Steve Harvey, Rickey Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer is why he remains one of the most compelling figures in comedy today. So as you watch this unfold, think about the courage it takes to disrupt a system that's been in place for decades. Katt Williams didn't just fight for himself, he fought for respect, fairness, and the chance for talented comedians to shine. Samuel L. Jackson confirmed that even Hollywood legends notice this, which is why Steve, Cedric, and Rickey reportedly feel nervous around him. The story isn't just about gossip, it's about power, influence, and standing up for what's right in a world that often rewards silence. By now you can see why Samuel L. Jackson's insight matters so much. He's showing us that comedy isn't just jokes, it's history, rivalry, and politics all mixed together. Katt Williams has been at the center of these dynamics for years, and his courage to call out others, protect his work, and demand respect is what sets him apart. And while Hollywood may try to maintain control, Katt's boldness ensures that the truth eventually comes to light. So stick around because these stories reveal more than just who said what. They show the real power struggles, the egos, and the influence that shape comedy. From Steve Harvey's high-top fade moment, to Ricky Smiley's dress story, to Mark Curry's stolen jokes, and finally to Katt Williams asserting himself in front of legends like Dave Chappelle and Samuel L. Jackson, it's all connected. Every piece of this puzzle tells a story of courage, rivalry, and the fight for respect in Hollywood. In the end, Samuel L. Jackson's revelations confirm what Katt Williams fans have always known. He's fearless, he's bold, and one of the most influential comedians alive. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, they all respect him, even if they don't admit it publicly. Katt Williams isn't just a comedian who makes people laugh, he's a force that challenges Hollywood's old ways, exposes hypocrisy, and demands accountability. And that, my friends, is why this story is so important, and why you need to watch every moment, remember every detail, and understand the impact Katt Williams has on comedy today.